Hey everybody, it's been a long time since my last update. I've been just working very hard to get this thing ready to go in a playable state, and I would love to show you all what I've got going today, and I'm hoping to get this in people's hands very soon. I essentially have a playable version of the Hackers and the Cybernetics starter decks, and it's essentially just some kind of refining and bug fixing from here, but yeah, things are looking really good. It's a little hard to know what to talk about because so much has been implemented since the last update. So I think I'm just going to fire up a game and sort of step through it and talk about things as they come up. This is what the new game screen looks like. You pick one of these decks. We'll pick the Hackers for now. And you get this invite link that you can send to someone else. So you can copy it and you just send it. And all they need to do is accept it on their end. I'll move my other browser window over, and they see this. It's like a join game screen, and they can pick a deck of their own. So we'll pick the Cybernetics over here, and yeah, it takes us right into the game. First thing I wanted to talk about is probably the most obvious. I've got these amazing looking background images for each starter deck, and these are like high res, kind of like wider versions of the card art that came straight from Connor and Alex. So really cool that they hooked me up with these because I think they look great as background images and really just kind of elevates the whole look of the game. Right, now jumping ahead a little bit, I've played out a dumpster diver with a riot blade attached over here. And so one thing to point out is that gets us to that first mainframe level for the synthetics over here. And I was trying to think about like a way of sort of highlighting that and making that obvious. So for now, I'm just sort of throwing that synergy, that little one icon right on top of it to try to make it obvious. And the other thing you'll notice is that synergy is taking effect. We can see, the dumpster diver starts at a base of 1/1. And then it gets +1/+0 from the Riot Blade, and then an additional 1/1 from the mainframe synergies. And we also see it has the slash ability now, which comes from Riot Blade. So things are working. All right, and now I'm over here as the hacker player, and I want to show how does it look when you play a card like Fishing, for example. So you play this out, and then as we can see from the text, you need to target a player. So we'll target our opponent here. And then it opens this new modal where you're going to see their hand and choose a card. And I think we'll take, I'd probably take the character in a real game, but maybe for now we'll just take like the Riot Blade. So a number of things happened quickly here, but we can see the Riot Blade went to their recycle bin. And I can also click on this and I can view their recycle bin as you would expect it to work. And I can either hit the X to close it out of that or just escape on the keyboard, which is kind of nice. Fishing is now in my recycle bin. But then the other thing is that revealed their hand. So their hand is revealed. I can see these cards. If I go over to the Cybernetics player, let's install one RAM and then draw one card. And you can see it's correctly hiding the card that should be hidden, but the revealed cards are revealed. We can see a little icon here as the Cybernetics player, so I know which ones have been revealed. So yeah, it's all working as you would expect. All right, and I've actually jumped into a different game to try to show an example of the cache and sort of Swift priority and how all that works out. So over for the Hackers, I've got this admin, and I'm going to skip over to like the declare attackers step, and that creates a Swift check. And so for now I'm going to pass, because over here what I want to show is, let's say this scrapper tries to use the slash ability, which can deal 1 damage. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to target the admin. And so then that ability is going to go on the cache. And what's cool is I'm trying to make all of this as user-friendly as possible and as informative as possible. So it's saying the ability / targeting the admin, and we even get some kind of like lines going from the character that's doing the ability and the character it's targeting. But yeah, that is on the cache, which is on the right side of the screen. And then over here, as the hackers player, I can see that my admin is being targeted, and I can go ahead and run its use its index ability to get some RAM before that happens. So I'll do this. That will technically be added to the cache as well, but because no one has any more actions they can take, the cache is going to automatically resolve, and just things are going to move forward. So I'll do that. And yeah, we can see in the logs, and then we can see the admin was destroyed, but yeah, I've got more RAM now. So that's another example of how the game log can kind of help fill in the gaps of when things kind of, a bunch of things happen all at once. All right, next let's show off the fire starter ability. This is an example of a triggered ability. So if you have the at least one synergy level going on, which would mean like 2 hacker faction in play, and then you play a Trojan or a hacker program, you can deal 1 to any target. So let's see how that might play out. So I've got 5 RAM to work with over here. Let's play out Phantom OS, and we'll play out Tagger. And it's giving me a Swift check. Oh, it's giving me a Swift check because I can also play this out, but I don't want to do that just yet. So let's resolve that. All right, so now with my mainframe synergy up to 1, I've got this program which can deal 2 damage. So we're going to play that, target the scrapper to kill that. And before the cache even resolves, this triggered ability also kind of resolves, and it's asking you to select a target for a fire starter. We're going to take out the scrapper, so let's go ahead and deal 1 to the mainframe of our opponent. And then the cache still hasn't quite resolved. I could technically run this revolution ability, but we'll let it pass, and it all kind of plays out. So you played the Overload Mark 1 and dealt 2 damage to the scrapper, which was destroyed. Its attached cyberware was destroyed, and then the fire starter dealt 1 mainframe damage. So yeah, pretty cool. That's an example of a triggered ability working properly, and also another faction synergy. All right, so I think I'll call it there, and hopefully those interactions kind of gave you an idea of how things have come along. And the bottom line is the game is in a really great state, and things are working as you would expect. Thank you guys for watching. Excited to get this in your hands soon.